sure they're Missourians, John?
Yep. Those are bushwhackers for sure.
Lewis, you see them right off?
We went south, Mr. Mahaffie.
Good thing this grove is here. They'd have seen us.
They got no business harming us. We're not Kansans.
Not yet. They would have realized we were looking for land, and boy, they would have worked us over.
I don't know, John. Kansas is just... There's hardly a claim from the border to Lawrence. I know I can find a farm to buy in Missouri.
Heck, Beatty. There ain't a claim between here and the Pacific Ocean. No, the only good, cheap land is on this side of the border.
Lots of blood on this land.
These Kansas-Missouri squabbles will be over as soon as Kansas joins the Union.
Seems like a rough place for my family. Not sure what Lucinda would think. Maybe we'd be better off going farther west.
Yeah, this ain't Indiana. Frontier life's a lot harder.
I know, McKay. I got some time to think about it. Maybe we'll find something.
Mr. Mahaffie.
They're just riding around looking for trouble.
Well, if they're headed north, I say we go south.
You're right. Come on.
In May of 1857, James Beatty Mahaffie came to Kansas looking for land to start a farm. Within 4 months, he would return with his family to find a place to call home. In 1857, Missouri and Kansas were at war, fighting over the issue of slavery. This 11-year border war became known as Bleeding Kansas. It was the world in which Olathe, Kansas was born, and a world in which the Mahaffie family would soon enter. JB and Lucinda Mahaffie sold their farm in Indiana and came to the region in September of 1857, bringing with them their 5 children. Staying with family in Independence, Missouri, they had been offered a farm. Isabel, their oldest, was sick.
Well, she's not any worse, but I still think it's malaria. Oh, my poor girl.
Always Belle getting sick.
It's not as though she has any say in the matter. She won't hold us up.
Hold us up. It's 160 acres of beautiful land for only $2,000. I bet you I can get them to take less. There's no sense in moving farther west. We found our farm. You've seen the house.
And it's a fine house, but it's not sitting well with me to stay here.
It's got the best darn orchards I've ever seen. Come on now, woman, be reasonable.
We may be Democrats, but we will never own slaves. Kansas has a chance to be free, and that's where we're going. I will not raise my children in Missouri.
Lucinda, they're killing lots of folks over there in Kansas.
And those Jayhawkers are doing their share of killing over here, too. What part about going west did you think would be safe? At least we'll be doing the right thing.
I hate passing on a good deal.
We'll find another.
We crossed that border. It's all unknown.
The good Lord got us this far. Malaria and all.
So we'll head to Kansas. Osawatomie and Lawrence are too dangerous.
Well, McKegg's in Olathe. That might be a good place.
If we can't find anything there, we'll go farther west to Council Grove. I hear they got good claims there.
That sounds like a good plan, James.
The Mahaffies pulled into Olathe in September of 1857, still looking for a farm.
James, she's burning up.
We'll find it, Doc. John will help.
Oh, JB, there he is. John McKegg. Effie, take George.
Oh, John, you've no idea how happy we are to
Is there a doctor in Olathe?
I can fetch one.
Belle's come down with malaria.
She's real bad, John. Whatever it takes, I can pay.
Don't worry about it. I'll get you set up.
Jonathan Milliken, one of Olathe's founders, offered the Mahaffies a room where they would stay for a few days while Belle recovered. Soon, however, fate would play a hand and the Mahaffies would find their new home in Olathe, Kansas.
Turned around and sold it. Almost twice that. Can't do that back east.
Saw your fine rigs pulling to town the other day. How many families you traveling with?
Just mine. Who's asking?
Mahaffie, right? My name's Jones.
Whiskey Jones.
You can just call me Jones.
I'm James Beatty Mahaffie. You can just call me Beatty.
If you're looking at staying, I got me a house not far from the Avenue Hotel down there that I'd be willing to give you for $1,200. Heck of a deal.
No, I know the place. That's a high price for this area. You have lots for sale too?
Them lots ain't for sale.
Owes the bank $200. Tomorrow. I'd make him an offer.
I'll tell you what. I'll make you an offer if you give me your word not to cause a ruckus.
Well, what's it gonna be?
It's the only type of money I have. I have but a little of it. I'll give you $200 for the house and another $200 for the 3 lots.
Now, I told you them lots ain't for sale.
Well, the house is of no use to me without the land.
Just the house, and you can have her for $500.
Good night, Mr. Jones.
I'll sell you the house for $200.
I need the land as well.
Don't I have a choice in this matter?
Every man's got a choice. Do we have a deal?
How much you got there?
Pay you $200 now, and when the papers are drawn up, I'll pay you another $200. Interested in helping me build a stable?
I told you he'd take it.
The Mahaffie family would now call Olathe, Kansas, home. In less than a year, the Mahaffies found a 160-acre farm along the well-traveled Santa Fe Trail. They moved the home they bought from Whiskey Jones to the site. Life in Kansas held a new set of challenges for the Mahaffies. Frequently, the warning went out for settlers to go into the township of Olathe for protection from Missouri bushwhackers, who were pro-slavery guerrillas riding into Kansas to kill or rob. On those occasions, horses and livestock were hurried to the back of the farm and hidden. When the family returned, cupboards were bare of food, but nothing else was stolen. Despite the danger of living near the volatile Kansas-Missouri border, the Mahaffies flourished. In 1865, Mahaffie built a handsome 2-story stone and frame house, which stands on the property to this day. Just as their farm expanded, so did their family, as JB and Lucinda would have 3 more children. Along with their father, William, John, George, and Frank worked all the land and livestock. The girls, Isabel, Effie, and Ella, helped Lucinda with all the household chores and gardening. As often occurred in those days, one child, Andrew Merkel, would die in infancy. Despite running a successful farm, the Mahaffie homestead also served as a country inn and stagecoach stop for many years. Eventually, several stagecoach lines with passengers and mail stopped at the Mahaffie station. On the busiest days, the Mahaffie women served 50 to 100 meals. But being located so near the well-traveled Santa Fe Trail came with its own set of dangers.
There's 2 men out there. They've got 4 horses.
What'd they look like?
Not good.
John, get your father's shotgun. Stay upstairs. Do not come back in here unless you have to, you hear?
Yes, ma'am.
Effie, Belle, go upstairs with your brother.
No, Mama.
Where's your husband?
Gentlemen, we just finished serving breakfast, but if you'd like to sit down...
Is that bacon?
Yes,
We'll have some of that bacon. You got biscuits? And coffee?
of course.
Make it fast. You fix that bacon up proper now, here? How old are you, ma'am?
Old enough to make a proper breakfast.
Effie, where are your manners?
Excuse me, old enough.
Danny, ma'am. Thank you for your hospitality. Good day, ma'am.
It was later learned these 2 men were horse thieves and ended their days dangling from a rope. The close of the Civil War also marked the end of the stagecoach and the new era of the railroad. JB Mahaffie was one of the first Olathe men to invest in the railroad, which came to Olathe on December 21, 1868. After the Civil War, the state of Kansas experienced its first sense of peace. This, however, did not mean that all was safe, as young Frank Mahaffie learned firsthand.
Fine day.
Yep.
This way to Olathe?
Yes, sir.
You want to ride? Well, I'm gonna lose my gang if you're gonna lollygag over it.
Sure, why not?
Get up.
Looks like you lost your gang.
It's all right. I think I know where they're headed. Get up!
Son, you know who that was?
No, sir.
That was Cole Younger, boy. Rides with Frank and Jesse James. You just hitched a ride with one of the most wanted outlaws in the country.
The Mahaffies' legacy in Olathe goes beyond the stagecoach and farmstead. As a part of family tradition, sons John and George left their home in Olathe to find their fortune elsewhere. The remaining 5 children left their own indelible mark on Olathe. Isabel married William Julian, whom she met when he worked on the family farm. Julian was politically active in the Olathe community. William, affectionately known as Uncle Billy, came to Olathe old enough to be considered one of Kansas' first settlers and an Olathe old settler, and later in life hailed as one of Johnson County's oldest and best citizens in every sense of the word. Of all the girls, Effie helped her mother the longest, serving countless meals to weary travelers for many years. Frank ran livery barns in both Olathe and Edgerton, and served as a city councilman in Olathe and undersheriff of Johnson County. Unmarried, Ella became a teacher and later a principal, as well as serving on the Kansas State Board of Education. She survived to celebrate the city of Olathe's centennial in 1957, exactly 100 years from the time her father brought her family to live in Olathe. James Beatty and Lucinda Mahaffie are best known for their homestead and stagecoach stop which still stands today. But it is the character of JB Mahaffie, Lucinda, and family that truly stands the testament of time. The Olathe Mirror remembered him as a man who could do nothing by halves. In that same spirit, the Mahaffies truly were one of Olathe's greatest pioneer families.